Well, it's so great to have you again on the fresh day of another beautiful week in the city of Abuja. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Welcome to Insight. Oh well, education remains the weapon for upward stratification. Some would say social and economic development of any nation. But the government over the years have not shown enough commitment to educational sector. The manifestation could be seen in sometimes the shrinking government funding of the sector. In other ways, the decaying and lack of infrastructure in the country's universities and other institutions of higher learning, which many times may have led to the demoralization of the academia. This has also led to alternative decisions to migrate in search of higher educations abroad by our students, our children. Consequently, in recent times, Nigerian has perhaps, and some will say crisis. We still have in mind the last ASU strike, which is still fresh in our minds. An embarrassing and very unnecessary situation kept students at home for almost a year. From government officials vested with the responsibilities of funding the system to school. Former Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Benue State University, former Vice Chancellor of the Kwararafa University, Taraba State in Nigeria, and the President of the University of Calabar Alumni Association. Prof is also the Secretary to the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian University. I must also add that in December 2022, he was elected Chairman, Conference of Alumni. So you can join the program on our live stream on YouTube. Type in Citizen FM 93.7 and you will be part of the show. Our social media platforms are also there for your interaction on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, and also on X at Citizen FM 937. So that's how it's going to be in the next 45 minutes or thereabout. We will be taking a look at the tertiary education challenges, way to go, and every other thing. Prof, straight on, from my intro, I painted a picture of the system.
The first set of tertiary institutions that came out of America were faith-based institutions owned by private actors, the Harvards, the Princetons, the Yales. You know, if you come to the UK, the Oxfords, the Cambridge, the Birminghams were all private, in quote, educational delivery providers. When you come to Nigeria, and if you come to Africa, the first set of tertiary institutions that were the first set of public educations, Western style education that was set up, were also not by government. The first government secondary school, government in quote now, was King's College. When did King's College come? Almost 50 years after CMS Grammar School, after St. Gregory's Obalende, and other ones. Yes, you know, and then when the federal government of Nigeria established its first university of Ibadan, was inherited from the colonial government. Agree with these perspectives. So that's
okay.
My opening remarks.
Okay, Prof, thank you for that opening statement. At least you've laid the foundation for this discussion. But before we go to the nitty-gritty, let me even start from you and some of your colleagues who are professors, who are researchers. Despite the challenges in the system, they have remained, they've kept faith in the sector. How have you been able to remain in the sector? Using you as an example.
I won't say it has not been difficult. It has been difficult. But we all become academics based on particular idiosyncrasies, based on what you refer to as a calling. And depending on what, quote, called you to become an academic, your commitment for the system will keep getting stronger and stronger despite the challenges. I started out not being an academic was furthest from my mind when I started out as an undergraduate student at the history department in the University of Calabar. But one day, I think this was 1980, the late Ali Mazrui delivered the first convocation lecture for University of Calabar.
Famous African researcher.
Yes, you know. And when he finished the lecture, he got like about a 15-minute standing ovation. And I was like, wow, this is one small man. Ali Mazrui is not a big man, you know, held this audience spellbound. If I leave Calabar, the furthest I will get to where I will need to have a break will probably be Ogoja, which is like halfway, you know. So what I could do in 10 hours 25, 30 years ago, I now have to do in 20 hours. When the reverse should be the case if we are looking at it from a developmental perspective. So that is the story of Nigeria, which is not what we are talking about in that context. But so in the context of education, that is it. So those of us who stayed behind to try and see, not to lose faith in the education, are driven by that calling, and also driven by brilliant young Nigerians that we have had the opportunity to train, who have given us some hope that all is not lost, that in this pool of poor graduates, all manner of challenges and things like that, we are still able to produce students who are like torch bearers, who can carry on the torch to say that, look, this system is not as useless as we think